last year, Great Britain's Tom Stoltman was dead set on winning a third consecutive championship, but left disappointed. Now Tom is beyond determined and has already proclaimed he'll reclaim his title. But despite the confidence, he'll need to contend with a challenging field of competitors just to qualify for this year's final. The American record holder in the log lift, Bobby Thompson, who's just as determined to advance and take home a title. South Africa's Jaco Schoonwinkel, who impressed in his debut last year. And three first-timers, all looking to shock the world in their debuts. The SBD World's Strongest Man starts now.
Hello everybody and welcome again to the SBD World's Strongest Man. Eddie Hall and I, the 2017 World's Strongest Man, of course, are here enjoying a little bit of downtime between the qualifying groups of the Mount Atlanticus Minotaur Golf Experience. We've just been, as you can probably see there, past the Nessie Experience, which was tough, not going to lie, which put us in mind, Eddie, of another looming Scottish menace here in Myrtle Beach this week. I'm talking about Tom Stoltman.
Yeah, Tom Stoltman, 2 times winner of World's Strongest Man, hungry for his third. He is on fire this year. He's looking so strong on social media, and I even think he's got taller.
That's quite a thought. Well, Tom's bid to reclaim the title starts now with the qualifying Group 5, which features not only him, but also Wesley Dawinski of Canada, Nathan Goltry of the USA, Adam Roskowski of Poland, Jaco Schoonwinkel of South Africa, and Bobby Thompson of the USA. 2 qualifying places up for grabs, Eddie. Who else do you like from this group?
Well, Schoonwinkel did so good at World's Strongest Man last year, but Wesley Dawinski, bit of a dark horse, he did really good in the official Strongman games leading up to this, so I think it's going to be between those 2.
OK, the last 2 places in this year's final up for grabs then. Let's get straight away on to event 1, which is the Webster Stones, and for that, here's Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Well, thank you, James. Thank you, Eddie. Danny Wallace here alongside Colin Bryce. This is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, home of the SBD World's Strongest Man. As James said, Group 5 is set to begin their first event. It's the very awkward Webster Stones.
Yes, indeed, the Webster Stones, named after David Webster, former referee of World's Strongest Man. Now, 2 stones, 250 pounds and 300 pounds, so they're awkward. They're different weights, have to be carried as far as possible. 1 10-second drop allowed, that's the rules.
Well, the Canadian, Dawinski, first time here, one of our 3 debutantes in this group. Will be head-to-head with the mighty Paul Roszkowski.
Former ballroom dancer for Poland, actually. True story.
Well, these Webster Stones, as you say, different weights, different shapes. All about getting that balance and that rhythm, working out your steps.
Yes, Roszkowski closest to camera for Poland, getting things underway a little bit quicker. Dawinski on the right-hand side. Roszkowski head down. That's got to keep that oxygen coming in, though. He's got to be careful. You will hit lactic acid and burn out very quickly. You don't keep on breathing. And could this be tortoise in the hare? As Dawinski comes towards the 20-meter mark, just over 60 foot.
And he just has to tap that line, that awkward turn, and back he goes. Roszkowski has already placed his stones on the ground, won't get to do that again.
Yes, that's it for him then. Dawinski has another go, though. He's at his 10-second count like a boxer, and off he goes.
He knows he's ahead, of course, but how much further can he go? Doesn't know what the other competitors are capable of, so he just has to keep on grinding. That grip, though, just let him down.
The distance of 29.36 meters. Let's hear it for
29.36, the man in the lead, Dawinski, who you're right, it was the grip that gave out in the end rather than clipping his legs.
For Adam Roszkowski.
Well, 22.62 for Roszkowski.
Yes, very solid distances. Anything over the 20-meter mark you can be fairly happy with, but we'll wait and see because we've 4 more to go. And Dawinski, there he is. He's our leader.
Representing the United States.
Well, looking to beat that.
Nathan Goltry.
Another first-timer here at World's Strongest Man. Nathan Goltry from the US, taking on, well, another American, slightly more experienced.
Bobby Thompson.
Big, bad Bobby Thompson.
Yes, one of the big favourites for this heat, Bobby Thompson. He's an exceptionally good strongman, incredible deadlift squatter. See how he gets on with this movement event. It's not always his best events when it comes to the fast and furious stuff, but we'll see. Galtrey, on the other hand, here he is. He's a former Canadian footballer, really talented athlete all round, and came in the top 3 of the official strongman games, so very much earned his place here. Bobby Thompson, well, he's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, Thompson was starting to shake there, whereas, well, Galtrey, he's working this out, just has to cross that line. Difficult turn. Thompson has also dropped his stones. Both men have 10 seconds to pick those stones up.
5, 6, 7.
You can hear the referee. Thompson gets them in line. You're allowed to bring the rearmost stone up to the other one, but he goes down before the 20-meter mark, and he's hobbling off. That's not a good sign at all. And Galtrey goes down short of Dawinski.
Well, it was a tough event. There's some big, tough men.
Meters. Let's hear it for Nathan
Galtrey managed 24.5 meters, and you have to say, as he slides into second, for a debutant, good performance.
Bobby
Thompson beaten by that line, or at that line, 20 meters dead on.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he got the 20-meter mark. But I think he'll be very disappointed with that. And more worrying, he looks injured. He's hobbling.
Well, up next, a World's Strongest Man champion who wants to reclaim his throne. Does Tom Stoltman have what it takes to power through this qualifying round and make it to the final? Find out when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man.
World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. By Visit Myrtle Beach, 60 miles of where you belong. And by the WSM Store. Level up your strength. Power up with World's Strongest Man gear.
Representing South Africa.
Well, welcome back to the continuation of Group 5's first event, the Webster Stones, and up next, that man, South Africa's Jaco Schoonwinkel, going head-to-head with, well, the champion's champion, 7th time here, Tom Stoltman.
Wow, this is big. Schoonwinkel, of course, made the final of World's Strongest Man last year, damaged his knee, and we haven't seen him since, so post-operation, he's had some good recovery, but the man closest to camera, the giant, 2 times World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoltman, looking to get back that title, and the campaign's beginning here, though Schoonwinkel, as he was last year, was dynamite in the heat, so goodness.
Well, look at that, he's got the speed, but he's tired out now, Schoonwinkel, losing his balance, really struggling at the line. Now Stoltman uses that opportunity to push forward.
Yes, indeed. Oh, you can see his fingers opening up there. The giant mitts of Tom Stoltman. And Schoonwinkel, he's so tough, the South African farmer. Catching the big Scotsman, but off he goes again. Tom, maybe a little too quickly, though.
That's a mistake from Stoltman. Oh, and look at that, so tight from Schoonwinkel.
Unbelievably, that's the first time he's gone down.
5,
My goodness, yes.
7.
He's got one more go. He was slow and painstaking at the end there after that first stagger. Oh,
Well, that's all it needed from Schoonwinkel. I bet even Stoltman thought that Schoonwinkel had placed them on the ground at one point.
interested to see whether Tom Stoltman went past Dawinski or not. Is he second? Is he third? He is second.
29.74 for the mighty Scotsman Tom Stoltman.
With a distance of 31.75.
Obviously means that Schoonwinkel takes that event, 31.75 for the South African.
Tremendous result for Schoonwinkel. He's so tough. He won his heat last year against Brian Shaw, and that's a really good start against Tom Stoltman and others.
Well, let's hear from South Africa's strongest farmer. He's with James and Eddie now.
Jacob, you look beat.
Very much. Had a hard time beating Tom at first. Yo.
Listen, last time we saw you here at World's Strongest Man, it was a terrible moment. You just broken your ACL, you just ruptured your ACL. And today was your first day competing since then?
Yes, well, I've put in a hell of a lot of work to be back here this year, give it my all, try and do better than last year.
Well, you did a magnificent job. Last year, you made it to the final in your first attempt, beating the mighty Brian Shaw to the group win, and you've already beaten Tom Stoltman in that event. It's another great start, Eddie.
It's an amazing start. One thing I noticed, I think at one point I just saw you close your eyes and just keep going. What was the pain like in your hands? Can you show the camera? Like, I see some blood there. Can you just show the camera the blood?
My hand is bleeding. My hand is bleeding, but not really any pain. So.
It doesn't matter that you're bleeding, just pain's temporary, you know.
Yeah, time is temporary in a way, so.
Jakob, I know that reaching the final last year was one of the greatest moments of your career. It then turned out badly because of the knee. Looking forward to seeing some another amazing performances from you this time around in Myrtle Beach.
Thank you very much.
Jakob Schoenwinkel, everybody.
So the South African begins the competition, taking the lead in the first event, earning him 6 points. Former champ Tom Stoltman takes second. American Goldtree takes fourth. Thompson has withdrawn from the competition. An impressive win for the South African, but a likely disappointment for Stoltman. Will he rebound in the deadlift ladder? Second event coming up next on the SBD World's Strongest Man. Well, welcome back to the beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the athletes of Group 5 take on their second event, the ominous deadlift ladder, Colin. Looks fun.
Yes, and it is fun. It's 661 pounds all the way up to 841 pounds if you get there. You have to lift them from lightest to heaviest. 60 seconds is the time limit.
We might have very different ideas of fun, Colin. That's one thing I realise. But already, having had a go,
yes, indeed. Yeah, Adam Ruszkowski came out in the first pair, 3 bars, 37.35 seconds. I'm afraid Bobby Thompson has pulled out, though. So he did not run. So on to our second pair already.
Nathan Goldtree.
And we're all wondering, what can Goldtree do? Representing America,
Canada,
up against
Wesley
the age-old rivalry, Canada and Derwinski.
Derwinski's a bus driver.
Ready? On the whistle.
He's been competing since he's 18, so a decade now. He's not exactly a new boy, and he leaves his straps off there for the first one. Interesting tactics. Goldtree on the far side, also leaving his straps off. They'll kick in probably on the third or fourth bar. No, still going without, so they have strong grips, which is surprising considering we had the Webster stones just a few moments ago.
Well, impressive stuff, isn't it, from both men using the straps now, as you say. He drops the fourth onto the big one now.
Ooh, Goldtree made a mistake there. You see, he went without the straps, and then it slipped out his hands just before he locked it out, so he's wasted a whole lift there. Derwinski, though, going for 5.
Well, this is the tough one. Dragging it up, locks out, does it. Canada's Derwinski manages all 5.
10 seconds.
Goldtree has 10 seconds.
8 seconds.
Oh, that's going to hurt him. I mean, he knows he's done an extra lift for nothing. He should have put the straps on. He was trying to save, what, a second, 2 seconds max? And it, yeah, runs out of time.
Just out of time there with that error from Goldtree.
With 5 bars in a time
pressing
of
the crowd.
45.9 seconds. Give it up for Wesley.
Well, just under 50 seconds there for all 5 bars. That's a real gauntlet to throw down.
4 bars in a time of
yeah, it's just 4 bars, I'm afraid, for Goldtree, who takes some calluses off his hands. That's painful. He makes light of it, but that will hurt. And Derwinski, well, he finished off that 5th, 841 pounds, locks it out without a problem.
Well, sweaty work, but he is fully deodorized. And having watched that, well, a man who faced out almost any challenge we've seen over the years. From the Gordon in the Highlands, Tom Stoltman.
Well, Stoltman's a great deadlifter. You have to be to win World's Strongest Man 2 times. Now, Schoenwinkel, we haven't seen him deadlift that much, but he's solid for sure.
On the whistle.
Well, and they're off. Little jaunty jog there from Stoltman, putting the straps on with the first one.
Yes, he's gone straight away using them. Very professional of him. He'll lose a couple of seconds by the end of this, but it'll save his hands.
Neck and neck now. Schoenwinkel on to the third. This is 750. Schoenwinkel nipping ahead. And Stoltman, again, as you say, used that little bit of time just to get those straps on.
Well, we saw what happened to Goldtree. He would have seen that as well. Just one wrap round, and look at this, Schoonwinkel's leading Stoltman again.
Well, or is he? This is going to be very, very tight. Both men look set to get all 5 bars.
45.9, is that going to come and go? Yes, it does.
But Stoltman, professional, made sure he did it. Schoonwinkel only 4 bars, just under 30 seconds. Puts him in third.
Give it up for
Stoltman, 46.48. All 5 bars, job well done.
Yes, Dawinski will take the win here by about a second or so. But Tom Stoltman, again, professional, solid, also preserving himself for the final, assuming he's going to get there.
The winner of the deadlift ladder.
So the Canadian, Dawinski, great time, 45.9, all 5 bars. First time here. So a very rare occasion in this competition, a 3-way tie. Schoonwinkel and Stoltman each with 10 points. This is already shaping up to be quite the competition. So Stoltman may share the top of the leaderboard, but has not yet won an event. Is he playing the long game? We'll find out when we return with the Sandbag steeplechase next on the SBD World's Strongest Man.
World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. By the WSM Store. Level up your strength. Power up with World's Strongest Man gear. And by Visit Myrtle Beach, 60 miles of where you belong.
Well, we're back, so are you, so we can begin. It's time for the 3rd event of the competition, a new event introduced this year, the Sandbag steeplechase.
Yes, 3 bags have to be carried, weighing 265 pounds each, over the hurdle first of all, dropped over, then picked up and carried down to a platform. So there's 6 segments in this race.
And it all has to be done in 75 seconds or under. Rushkovsky, well, he managed 5 segments, 1:05.
Daltrey's turn, he managed all 6, just under 75 seconds. But our leader is Jacko Schoonwinkel, managing all 6 in 68 seconds.
I can't tell whether he's delighted or questioning his life choices. So up next, well, a Canadian rookie at this year's competition, it's Dawinski. Let's learn more about him and his SBD power profile.
Webster, 28, 6'3", 310 pounds, Canada. We're from the Great White North, we're born strong. Everybody loves an underdog story, and Rudy's a great movie, so hopefully no one's watching, but at the end they'll be watching me. You know, this has been a long road for me. This is 12 years in the making, and a lot of the guys are just, you know, they're great guys. They've opened their arms up, but when the whistle blows, you know, everybody's a threat. And then when we're done, we're all shaking hands, and thankfully that there's sometimes a big age gap between us. So you got some guys that are coming in maybe 3-4 years into the sport, some guys that have been into it 20 years, and you know, you get to hear the war stories and you make memories, and that honestly is probably one of the best parts about being a strongman, and it's an honor to be here with them. I guess competing with Tom Stoltman and Luke for the first time. Been around them a few times, but never got the chance to truly compete against Tom. And you know, he's a 2-time World's Strongest Man winner. So I'd like to go against him in a few events and see where I line up.
Come on, Wes.
Let's go, Wes.
Yeah! Let's go!
I don't know when to give up. I'm a little hard-headed, and I just keep coming back for more, which I guess you really need in this sport, because at the end of the day, none of us are coming out better on the other end.
So bullish and determined, a welcome addition to the scene. And one of only a handful of strongmen called Wesley. So another achievement there.
Interesting fact, yes, it's true, probably.
And he's been paired, of course, with an intimidating character to do anything with. Tom Stoltman. And I mean anything. Share a bath.
Ready? On the whistle.
Darren Sadler, referee, gets us underway. Magnus Sven Magnusson, the referee, is down the end watching the platforms as Tom Stoltman shot puts that bag over the hurdle. Goodness me.
Well, that's the technique you need. You need to throw that thing as far as you can, if you can, of course. Very few people can.
Eddie Hall thinks he's even grown taller. He's just an enormity, Tom Stoltman. Manages to get himself under the hurdle, doesn't choose to go around it, so he's agile for a big man.
Very agile. Struggles to limbo, but back he goes with a little jog. Dawinski manhandles that very awkwardly shaped shield sack on there, but look, all eyes on Stoltman. How far is he going to launch this one?
He gets a good roll, doesn't he? I mean, it makes that final 10 meters more like 7 meters, so... And finishes off with ease.
No problem for the mighty Scot, Tom Stoltman.
Under 55 seconds anyway, so it's by a big margin, the win in this event. As for Dawinski...
It's quite low in his grip, isn't it?
5 seconds left.
Oh dear, oh no. Is that a trip, or did he slightly black out there? And he's frustrated, of course he would be. Very demoralising when the other guy finishes with so much time left.
I think it's a bit of both, really. I think he was he's struggling out there. I mean, it's hot as well. Let's not forget that. You know, we're talking into the 90s here, so these are big men. They don't exactly shed their heat particularly well.
Well, what a performance from Tom Stoltman. All 6, 53.69 seconds.
Well, let's have another look at that last sack there. Stoltman, not wearing gloves, interestingly, but hangs on to it easily. And of course, at his height, it just drops onto the platform. And it gives him his first event win.
Well, what does that do to the scoreboard? There's some separation there now, with Tom Stoltman taking the sole lead with 16 points. Schoonwinkel 1 point behind in second. Goltree from America currently 6 points off the lead in fourth. 3 events remain for the athletes of Group 5 before both their finalists are decided. It's still a tight race, could be anybody's game. For James Richardson, Eddie Hall and Colin Bryce, I'm Danny Wallace. In association with 45 Live, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.